Okay, I am back. I did a lot of work uh, in between. Wait, let me get all my lights on here. Okay, I did a lot of work on these things. These two puppets I've been wearing, the Ralphs. Um, this is where we left this one, although I had a skin on it. It was just the temporary skin. I still have to put the final skin on there, which I do have dyed. I also did some work on the one with the mech in it. So let me show you. Let me show you what I'm doing here. Um, this is the prototype head, which I've had to take apart to figure out what I did. You can now kind of see how this all works. There's two little rings in here. Ignore these two holes. I thought I needed them originally, but I don't. So there's the two pipes that come out, the two pieces of plastruck tubing that come out, which correspond to it. And then there's a piece of welding rod that's bent into this kind of curlicue with a bend in it. And then there's a spring that comes to the edge of the eyeball here. And then the string goes into the little loop. And then there's a pull, a piece of PVC pipe that pulls down. So when I pull that, it makes the eyelid go down. And that's basically how this works. So here are the pieces as they are now. So here's the headpiece with the two pieces of plastruck that go through. And then I attached the two springs, which these are from the Harbor Freight thing. They're about, looks like 3/4 of an inch. And they're fairly tight. I tried a bunch of different ones. These seem to be the right size. Then on here, ignore these holes. These are the ones that I did wrong originally. There's two holes that the plastruck goes through, and then there's two holes on the temples of the head, which the springs will pass through. And then I opened up the back here. I also added the neck sleeve, but only attached at the front so that I can get in there, and you can kind of see the two holes there that'll all go through. So what I first have to do is I have to put the final skin on here, which shouldn't take too long. And I can shut the window. Okay, so I can, once I cover this, I'm gonna leave it open in the back, so it should be just two darts, and then attaching the mouth plate, the lip line here. And I've already made the control rods, which you have to keep straight until you put it in, then you bend this around. And there's a left and a right. So I have the curve going up on both of them. So when you look in there, that's, come on. That's the way they'll be hanging. And then there's about an inch of, this is like 400-pound test deep sea fishing fishing poles, fishing line, and basically they will seat in there like so, and then when they're pivoted down, they'll turn it. And I think they're about the same length. We shall see. And the spring, you'll see how I do the spring when I get it all taken care of. But I got to put the skin on before I can do all this other stuff. So we'll see if I can get all this done. So let me first clear off the space a little bit. Get rid of all this. So this is the fabric I dyed. It's kind of the same. It's the same formula. It's the same formula that Dave Baker found for me. Oh, the other thing I have to do is I have to put the black piping around the eyes. So maybe I won't get done, but we'll see. I'll do my best. So this is the same formula. It's 1/4 teaspoon. I think it's one teaspoon tangerine, 1/4 teaspoon tan. No, it's a teaspoon tan, 1/4 teaspoon tangerine, Rit dye, and it gets a nice little, Caucasian skin. And I want to make sure I know the stretch. Stretch goes that way. I'm going to put this down, and hopefully this will be enough for both of these puppets, because I will never match it again. So let me get my pattern. It's like Homer Simpson's head. Make sure I got the stretch going the right way. I did change this. I did change this quite a bit, or not quite a bit, but a little bit since I made it originally. So I opened the mouth. Basically, I moved it about 2 inches down to open it up, and that solved all its problems. So make sure I don't hit the salvage edge like I always do. And I'll get started on this. I'm super excited to get to this stage. Again, I have been thinking about how to make this puppet for 12 years, 13 years, even longer than that, because like I said, the original one didn't quite work, and I used just regular anti-pill fleece on it. So it was a long time coming. It was also mainly machine sewed. So I'll use this. I'm going to hand sew all this, so I want to make sure I mark all my darts. For all my registration marks, I guess I should say. Okay, there's one side. Can I do all of it? Nope. And unlike the other side that I was doing, I need to mark both patterns. Almost had enough to do. I should really conserve this because I got to get both the arms out of it too. I don't usually cover the multiple puppets' bodies because it's a tendency to, well, they never change their costumes really. So I'd rather not add too much bulk to their already tiny bodies. And I also like to conserve fleece if I can. Okay, I should move it a little bit closer. This whole video is going to be me trying to get this pattern on this fabric, I think. So I watched the Swazzle guys thing on making features for their blank puppets. And they mention in there something I talk about all the time, which is this idea of several puppet builders all building the same puppet and using their various techniques kind of blind, from each other, so that they can come together and show the differences between how their interpretations do the puppets. And that's something I've talked about for a long time. I would love to be a part of that. He said 6 or 7 people. So if you want to do it, write to them and tell them you want me to be involved in their next, if they ever do that, because I would love to. They don't know who I am, but it'd be nice to make that connection. All right. Those on there. And I usually incorporate the neck into my patterns because I hate having a seam line, if I can help it, at the neck. It always looks like they had been beheaded and put back together. So I try to incorporate it in there. Okay. When I cut out fleece, I try to cut it at an angle. It's like a 45 degree, or probably about 45-degree angle. So I've got the scissors kind of at a thing. So that way the pile will be longer than the backing. I'm not always able to do it, but I try. And the reason I have to do this, I don't have to do it on Ralphie. Ralphie, I could have, I basically have to do it in stages, because if I don't, I'll never get that eye mech in place. So that's one of the things that eye mechs really, or eyebrow mechanisms, you really have to plan everything out. You can't really, I guess you could, but it's not a good idea to kind of do it by the seat of your pants, because you always end up like forgetting something, and then it's really difficult to make changes and fixes. You always end up destroying the puppet in some way. So this has been a bit of a exercise for me, because I usually don't do mechs like this. This may open up a whole new world to me. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off. Okay, get rid of all this. The biggest thing about the way this mech works is once that, I mean, I did it several times, but once I put it in there and bend that eyelid over, it's really hard to get it back out again and have it work. So I'd rather just do it once. That's one of the reasons I did it before, or bent all the wire and stuff before I got on here. Because I didn't want to mess it up by trying to go too fast or answer questions or whatever. Okay. One thing is that it's really tough to match color exactly. So always try and dye more than you need, you know, for future repairs, or at least to finish the same puppet. Because if you have, let's say you have made enough except for one hand, you're going to have one hand that's the different color. And if you don't dye it and you're like just buying fabric. Oh, hey, Chase. Then buy more than you need to, because you'll never, 9 times out of 10, never find that same fabric exactly the same again. That's one of the things about this project that's been nice, is I really don't have to buy a whole lot of stuff for it, because I still have all the stuff I bought, 15 years ago. Who knows how much of this stuff even still exists to buy. Hopefully there's enough here to make the eyelids. You know, when I dyed Benjamin Franklin, which was pretty close to this same formula, I made a batch that was way too dark. And I might put some dark bags under Ralph's eyes, since he is always sleep deprived and addicted to coffee and stuff. That might be a nice way to differentiate him from Ralphie. I've never done that before, but I've been thinking about it. Ouch. Okay. So I got both those set up, and they're both the correct orientation. I forget. Are you making a new Sam puppet also? No, Sam is. I remade Sam earlier this year. I guess it was 2 years ago. I had him partially built and I finished him. The only ones I might do again, like I have Mayberry's pretty old now. He was built right around the same time I think I built him in 2014 when I went to Dragon Con. Might have been a couple years, maybe 2012. But I might rebuild Mayberry. Roberta needs to be finished. I've got her head on my wall over there. What I really need to do with Sam and Mayberry is take their eyes off and paint the plastic because it's pretty scratched up. Oh, hi TC. Yeah, I'm covering this. I'm covering the puppet, and I'm going to. So I'm really only going to run it around here. And I also hopefully can get the eye mechanism in today, assuming it still works. And I'm pinning this wrong side out because I'm going to run a whip stitch all the way around as much as I can, so I don't have to do the ladder stitch the whole way. I'm trying to match up my tick marks here. I'm probably going to rebuild Sammy at some point too. Sammy's pretty old. I think Sammy might be the oldest puppet I have. Well, I have the old Ralph, but Sammy's probably the oldest puppet that I still use. It was built in 2006, 2007. I do kind of feel like I just built Sammy because the capybara was pretty close to being Sammy. Okay. Get some thread. Watched the Quizcast on YouTube yesterday. The Carl Malone Roberta interview. Aged like milk. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I like the Christmas one. To my knowledge, that song that was the only version of that song that was up online for the longest time. In fact, it's the only video I've ever gotten an email from YouTube asking if I want to monetize something. But I had to say that I own the copyright on something. I was like, I don't own the copyright on a Star Wars Christmas song. I don't know who you think I am. I didn't even know that. Maybe I knew that one was still. There's so many of those that have been taken down because of legal issues or something, or, copyright violations. Those were done for Kevin Smith's website. It was originally Movie Poop Shoot, but they rebranded to QuickCast Entertainment, and they were looking for content. So my friend Ken Plume worked there, and he hooked us up. I think I did 22. That's how BJ discovered me, was by doing those. They were a lot of work, though. Doing an 8-minute scripted, largely scripted anyway. A lot of them were scripted. Around everybody's schedules. And editing them and everything else just took a lot out of me. And then when I started working, it was terrible. Okay, I'm already just screwing this one up. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Roberta is over the age of 18. Oh boy, what did I just do? I may have to start this over from scratch. Let's see how tangled that actually got. I guess it's okay. That was a lot of gags. Like we were in the puppet shop, and BJ had all those puppets, and we were just like riffing on everything. He had the Beck puppets there, which were fun. Very weird puppets, but I mean, these don't have to actually be great stitches because it's all going to be under his eyes and behind his hair. But I like to try and get him as good as I can. I had hoped to have all this done on one of the heads before I started this live stream, but I had a lot more to do than I guess I thought I did. And the reason I lay it on here and do this way is I want to make sure that the tension on this thread is correct when I turn it the right way. Otherwise, I get a bunch of lumps that I don't want to have to deal with. And this seems to take care of that. Oops. Boy, with all these pins in here, it's so easy to snag something. I don't know if you can even see it. I just hope everything still works once I get it all put together, because I certainly don't want to have to take it apart again. That looks pretty good. Is that Nyla fleece? No, this is F3. That nose that I had, here, I can show you a couple of things that are kind of neat. So, what do I do with it? I thought I could show you something. Oh, here we go. This is that nose. This is what's left of that nose that I was putting on. This is old Antron fleece. This is what the Muppets, the old Muppets were made out of. That's what this is. And I have Ralph's old scalp here someplace. I just throw it away. Yeah, I took off all. I don't know where it went. I took off all that red fur that I had from that old wig because it wasn't going to work for anything. And I thought, well, since I had to remove the scalp anyway from that, I could show you guys, but apparently not. I didn't really like Nyla fleece. I tried it. I used Fazelle too. Fazelle wasn't too bad. I have a puppet I built that had parts of it that were made out of Antrons, parts of it were made out of Nyla fleece, parts of it were made out of, or not Nyla fleece, Fazelle, parts of it were made out of F3. I could point to it. We were on set and say, oh yeah, this is how this looks on camera. This is how this looks on camera. We all kind of agreed that the F3 looked the best on camera. Your oh boy, that's puckering like crazy. Okay. Antron. Oh, I thought that. Yeah, nylon. Or that's what I didn't like about it. Well, I didn't like a lot of things about it. Number one, I felt like it felt too much like working with oh, what was it? It felt too much like working with like blizzard fleece, and it didn't really hide seams great. That's not too bad. The main thing a lot of people don't like about Fazelle is that it has a tendency to, if you get anywhere near Velcro, forget about it because you've now basically frayed your entire puppet. About every 9 stitches, I'm trying to tie a knot if I remember. Stitch in 9. Or stitch in time saves 9. Sorry. I'm trying to keep this on camera for you guys. Trying to keep my big fat head out of the way too. See, I tease you all with saying I was going to do the mech in this one, and I'm going to, but then I ended up spending an hour sewing up all this fleece. I first saw this technique on the Nike MV Puppets commercials. This is how they were all built. I thought that was a pretty neat trick. Again, nobody's ever going to see this seam because it's going to be behind his hair. Okay. Only 67 more seams to go. Oh, I don't know if I'll rebuild. He asked if I was going to rebuild Jalea. I don't know if I'll rebuild Jalea. There's really no. I mean, I have the puppet that I made, but I mean, it's kind of a mess to. If anything, I might just try improving the one I have. I like the concept of how I did it, but in execution, there were things I didn't really understand when I was doing it. One of the things, and I've got to watch it on this too, is I had this tendency to, if I had a mechanism in there, like for eyelids or a mouth, I would build it so that it was relaxed when it was closed, or how was that? It was basically tight when it was closed, and then it would kind of relax when the it would open, and it didn't always retract really well. It was always too tight. It would work great until I put the skin on, and that might happen with these eyelids too. But I'm going to try not to have that happen. I mean, the good news is once I get these darts done, it's just one. I'm only going to. I'm only going to sew up this front seam, and then I can actually try and put the mechanism in. I keep teasing you all with it. Also, the other reason I won't be rebuilding Sam anytime soon is I don't have any fur left. I bought, Guy, how many of those did I? How much of that did I buy? I bought enough to do it. Let's see. There was the first one that didn't. Oh boy, now I've done it. There was a first. Oh, did it break? No. There was a first one which didn't use that fur, and then the second one used it, and then there was a third one that used it, and 2, 3, 4, and the fourth one got stolen. So I got 5 Sams out of it, and I just don't have enough to do any more Sams until I find that fur again or a fur like it. It's a really short pile, stretchy, light yellow. And I did know the name of it at one point, but I can't remember what it was now. I don't even remember where I got it. The closest match I came across was at a place in LA, the Garment District. And I was about to buy it. And my friend says, you know, that's leopard. It's got a leopard pattern to it. And I looked at it, and sure enough, there was a faint leopard pattern in it. And I was like, thank goodness I didn't buy 7 yards of this fabric I could never use. But it was the right style of fabric, which I liked. I may just have to find a different fabric. But that puppet's pretty good. So I'm going to have to find, once this is all glued down, I'm going to have to find the holes that are in the skull and then poke holes in the fabric so I can let the rods and stuff in and the springs. Uh-oh. I'm having quite a time with this. Might be the end of this one. It doesn't really matter. Let's see how much I can get through. Oh, and there it goes. Okay, good thing I tied a knot, because now I can't. That's why you tie a knot every 9 stitches. So you can do stuff like that. Okay. If I had a candle, I would might have better luck. Because you can run the thread on a candle and it'll slip through the fabric better. But I never think to have one. Again. And this darts right behind the eyes, so again, nobody will ever see it, thankfully. Did I actually break it? No, I don't know how that happened. Weird. Okay. Oh, I did break it. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, hope you're enjoying this. At least you know everybody makes mistakes. I wonder if this thread is just too old. I'm gonna get some different thread. A couple of different ones. Yeah, there is. There's a flashback in one of the episodes where they talk about how Ralph was. The question was, is there an explanation for how Ralph found Sam, or Sam found? I mean, Mayberry found Sam. And Sam was a test pilot for the planet K9, which orbited the Dog Star, and he was an astronaut test pilot that crashed on Malosha. And Ralph had been the king, or heir to the king, on the planet Zinobop. Again, this is all very, very clever stuff for somebody who was, 18 or whatever when he was writing it. But he had made his money on Earth on Malosha by setting the clocks on their VCRs. And when Sam crashed in the Mayberry, it was the same time that Mayberry's father told him to find a job, and he saw an ad for a pilot by Ralph who was trying to get off that planet. Again, is it any wonder that this comic never went anywhere? Sam applied to it and got it, but felt sorry for Mayberry, so he said if he wanted to do that, he had to be captain. And the thing was, basically, Sam being a telepath, his thoughts didn't travel over the radio, so he needed somebody to translate for him over the radio, and that was what the convoluted flashback basically told. Good thing nobody will see this, because look at how horrible job I did on it. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make my life a little easier, and I'm gonna trim off just a little bit of this. Do the last dart. I got this thread everywhere. Okay. Hopefully this will go better than the last one. I have to keep taking my glasses off because I can't see the thread. I need to reassess all this. I've done videos like this before where I stitched. I don't remember ever having this much trouble. Well, the good news is it looks like I have that same problem on this one, so I can trim away the same amount. At least they'll be symmetrical. In fact, I may alter the pattern so that it doesn't happen when I do Ralphie. Of course, then it might be too short. Okay. So all the darts. Darts are done. Oops. It's exhausting. All right, so let me get this lined up. Okay. I could probably change. Let me see if that helps. No, it will not. This is the dullest needle I've ever used. Let's try this one. I think I was using that dull needle for something else. Maybe the leather work. Okay, here we go. So, Antron geese. Have you ever used actual Antron? I don't know if you're still here, but like the old Muppet fleece. Oh, you never only the stuff that you gave me. Oh, okay. I didn't realize who this was. Okay. This is Ethan. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting rid of my old Antron. Or selling it, I guess. I have about 7 yards left. But I'm actually really liking the F3 better. And I always feel so precious about the Antron, I'm not really using it. But the F3 dies so much easier and less less apt to get dark spots. Let me reposition the camera a little bit. Oh. Home stretch, everybody. So you say I didn't start seriously building my own puppets until 2016. So that was when the post Antron stuff was being sold. Yeah, that the white stuff that I gave you was BJ said was the old Muppet fleece, and I bought that from Andrew Young in about 2005, 2006. And BJ said that looked like that was the old 70s Antron piece, the fleece, the lighter weight of the two. I think there was a 12 ounce and an 18 ounce, and he said it was the 12 ounce version of it. The strange pork was made out of that one. As was the T-Mobile puppets. It's made out of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did I flip over? Sorry. It's so easy to mess this up. Just a second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Still backwards. How did that happen? Okay. This is what I get for. Okay. This is what I get for not working out of a real studio. The nice thing about the multiple puppets, because the eyes are so big, I end up not having to really have really great seams because the nose, the eyes, and the hair covers up most of the seams. Okay, but I gotta fix that. At least it's lining up. Yeah. Note to self: need to buy a candle. I've never actually used a candle to wax the thread, but it's recommended by so many people I should probably try it. Okay. Ah, I'm so stressed out. Okay. If you guys watched the video that I did before this, where I actually put the test skin on, I put that thing on in like 20 minutes. Of course, it was all machine sewn, and it was, I didn't care. This should be just about where his antenna will pop out. I got to remember to do that before I close up the head too. It's curling up so much. It's making it really difficult on me. I know. Excuses, excuses. when I started making puppets, there was a lot of misinformation. The only stitch I knew was the ladder stitch. So my first puppets were all built entirely. Yeah, me too. I mean, I didn't even know that much. I had kind of figured out my own version of it. I wasn't really using the ladder stitch, but I like kind of reverse engineered what what a stitch looked like on the right side and tried to do it so that it looked like that on the wrong side when I did it. And yeah, I can't remember. I had some pretty good seams here and there, but yeah, there was even less information when I was doing it. I should look, but there was a video I got by David Panabrecker, and it was basically just a follow along and make his pattern. I didn't buy the pattern. You could get the whole thing for a couple $100. Or you could just get the video for 60. So I got the video, and that's where I learned about like contact cement and different types of fleece and Sintra and a lot of other things that I did. But he didn't talk about anything other than how to put together his pattern. And he had a lot of weird techniques. Like he machine sewed everything, and he what else did he do that was weird? There was no armature in the hands. It was all just stuffing. Lots of polyfill. But I mean, there was some good information in there too, but I don't know that. I mean, it kind of got me in the right direction, at least. I had so little training prior to that. But I wonder if that video is on YouTube somewhere. I'm sneaking up on it. And this is just the whip stitch, or yeah, the whip stitch I'm doing all the way across here. At least you knew about the ladder stitch when it first started, because a lot of us were kind of discovering it on our own. Okay, just a little bit more. Again, I have to leave this open in the back so I can get the mech in there. I was going to go to that dart, but I think I'm just going to leave it open. As far as this thread will get me. Just not too much farther. Come on. You can do it. Okay. All right, I'm done sewing for now. I gotta glue the mouth lip. And then yeah, and you know, he had a lot of misinformation early on too, because he was just figuring stuff out too. Boy, that's okay. It'll be fine. You can see how it's darker on one side than the other. I must have had like a bad bit of dye there, but most of that will be covered up by the eyes, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, I'm basically pinning this around where it needs to be. I want it to be even all the way around, you know, close to it. I want it to overlap the lip by about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch, but just be consistent all the way around. I'm also going to need to glue it right there at the cheek. Oops. It looks like I have too much mouth plate here, or too much fleece. It's really apparent how much different the color of these two pieces are. Oh well. All right, I'm going to glue this now. Whew, okay. All right, flip it again. There it goes. Okay. I gotta get some Q-tips. And, you know, really misinformation. There's just different ways to do a lot of stuff. I mean, there's some out and out wrong things out there. But there's different ways to do everything. And it's just kind of up to, you know, your institutional knowledge to know what works better in what situation. I gotta open the window too.
Okay, here we go. I am. Yeah, I'm using the swazzle method of using a Q-tip. I can't believe how much this is rolling up on itself. I'm doing a bang-up job here. Okay. Remove all these pins. Let me put some glue up in here. I don't usually put too much glue up here. Why do you ask that? Is there a joke there I'm not seeing? Yes. What type of M&Ms I prefer? I grabbed the wrong. I grabbed the wrong head. Oh well. Well, I got some bad news. I put this on the wrong head. I put this on the Ralphie head. Okay, well. Oh well, it's too far gone now. Yeah. So the Ralphie head doesn't have the eye stalks. Wait, is that right? I have the wrong one? Yep, this is the one. This is the one that I was supposed to be covering. Oh, darn it. Can I get this off? I mean, I just started, so maybe I'll be okay. I'm okay. Okay. We're back on. Both back on track. All right, let's get this one out of the way. That's right. I was patterning on it because it was more complete of the two. Okay, let me grab the right head. Get it all lined up. Let me see if I can get this to uncurl too. Okay. Nice of all you to tell me. Okay, let me at least get that. Okay. I'm going to do this closer to the way I always do it. So, answer to your question, I like I guess I like peanut M&Ms. I don't know. I don't eat a lot of M&Ms. Okay, I had a respirator. I know. Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't usually use a hair dryer on these things, but I'm an impatient man right now. And the reason I'm putting this glue up on the lid like this is because I don't want to risk putting this head in it. I don't know about this swazzle technique. It's easier to get a really precise line, but it doesn't seem to really, like the glue doesn't seem to like it. Oh, that's okay. I was just being stupid. I was just being stupid here. Okay. I don't know why this is curling up as bad as it is. I can go back and trim it a little bit, like, get it in place. Okay. At least I didn't get any glue in the wrong spot, which is good. And the reason I'm putting glue up here on the on the cheeks is because it'll kite over or tent over. And I'm gonna put too much on there. Okay. Oh no! Crap. Well, this is ruined. Oh well. It was nice. All right, so I just dropped glue on this, and I don't think I can repair it. It's pretty awful. I can continue. I guess I could at least show you how the eye mechanism works. This would be a good test run, but I'm gonna have to replace all this ultra suede here, and unfortunately, I don't have any of this color left. So I guess I'll have to replace both ultra suedes. So I don't even know how that happened. I must have dripped it when I was gluing just then. So, it happens. It happens, and there's not much that can be done. I was so proud of myself that I had not dripped any glue on this thing. Unless I put a humongous tongue in there. I don't know. Okay, well, heck. All right, let's at least try and see if I can figure out how to do this. This is a good test run anyway. Find these holes. Let's see. There's one. Well, that's very embarrassing. Here's one hole. I guess Ralph can have a different mouth plate than Ralph. Okay, let's see if I can get that in there. Okay, so at least that worked. Oh, it's upside down. Okay, at least that worked. And then the nose would go here. So that color change is not going to be that big of a deal, thankfully. God, that's so stupid. There's a hole right there. And then I feed the spring through. Well, I have had it done where I put blue tape
on the mouth, and then I've accidentally glued the blue tape in place. So I stopped doing that. Okay, so I stuck that in. It screws it. That you can kind of see the screw head, the spring sticking out, and then that'll. Okay. Let me get the other one through. This is where I stab myself in it. I mean, maybe I'll just I hate to have this puppet done and have everybody say, "Oh, look at that glue mark on there." Okay. There it is. The first one was so easy. Okay, so I'm going to stuff this thing in the little hole. First, this ring that never catches anything just caught the Antron, or the F3. Okay, I gotta calm down here. Again, I've never made this before. Made this particular mech. At any point along the way, it may not work. All right, I got it there. This is tough. I wonder if I made like a little hook. If I could just grab it. Come on, just close, close. There we go. I got it. Here, I'll show it to you in a second. I'd call it something. I mean, it's not just a glue mark. I wish it was just a glue mark. See it? All the way across. Okay, so if you can see it, there is, you can see the little tip of that sticking out. So what I'm going to do, let me make sure I take the right one. That's the wrong one. I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through that little part of the spring. And through that, can you see it? Second. Okay, so there's the spring. I'm going to grab it and stick it through that little channel there and run it all the way through the eye. Just a second, there's a lot of pressure on it right now. A lot of pressure on me, too. Why isn't that going in? Okay, here we go. All right, so I got it through. She's coming out through the front. I bring it all the way in there. And then I feed that down onto the little hook.
I swear I did this before. There we go. I got it. And unwind the string, which is now all. Okay, so now, let's see. Why isn't it working? Just a second. Almost got it. Just a second. It's turned around. There it goes. Okay. Oops. Well, this is a big bust, I think. Okay, so let's get that off there. This needs to go down like so. The glue, the spring will go up through there and hook onto the little. It just barely has a slot in there. So let's try this again. Okay. So feed it through the spring. Watch the prototype is the one and only time I'm going to be able to figure this out. What is this? Oh, I see. Okay. Maybe. I have to do this all by just feeling around in there. Oh, well, heck. Well, I think I gotta take a break and reassess. This may all be put together the next time you see me, or I may be working on a different project because this is driving me crazy. Okay. Well, at least you got to see Antron fleece, or not F3 fleece being sewn, and problems when I glue, and me wrestling with a mechanism that may or may not work. So you got your money's worth out of this one. I'll be on again tomorrow on Friday, and we'll reassess this whole situation again. I've just been trying to make this work, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Okay. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Hope you're not too disappointed. I'm not particularly disappointed either. I mean, this stuff happens. And you just basically pick up the pieces and do something else to try and figure it out. So I might need a little bit weaker spring, or I might need to think about the order of operations to get this thing together. So, all right. I'll see you guys next time. And thanks for tuning in.